Hey guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over some different tips for starting in car sales and another segment of Ask Anthony. Ask Anthony is where I have real salespeople, some of which I've trained, some of which I didn't, inbox me questions that I feel like are great to answer live, not scripted. I've never seen these questions, and it's a good foundation for some organic conversation and training, particularly questions that are valuable for somebody just getting started in the business or even somebody that's been in the business for a while. I know a lot of times people that have been in the business for a while, there's a sense of pride or ego attached where we don't want to ask for help. I get it. That's just being a human being. I think it's a great way to kind of dive in and do a little training without having to maybe let your pride get hurt that, hey, I've been in business for a while and I still don't know things, because at the end of the day, we're all still learning. We're all just trying to get better. I'm trying to learn every single day. So let's dive in and let's answer some questions. Once again, I've never read these before. This is all organic. And we will go to Robert. Robert's one of my top sales guys. Robert's a young guy, 21 years old, who's just absolutely killing it. He's made for the business. Love being able to train him. I hired Rob. I trained Rob with no past sales experience, and he does a fantastic job. Rob said, asking, number one, how to loosen up stiff or stern customers. Okay, so this is great. This could be a little tough. And ironically enough, and Rob, I know you're going to watch this, you were a little stern and stiff when you started. You have a very serious demeanor, and you've loosened up over time. And I think that happens, right? That happens, and not to say that doesn't make you a killer. You are a killer, and that's your strong suit, your stern and serious nature when closing deals. But what happens is I think the more we become educated, the more comfortable we become with whatever it is we're doing, whether that's learning a new skill, learning a new profession, right? We start to ease up a little bit. We become less stressed. And that also goes for buying something as well. The more confident we become in the decision we're making, right, the more comfortable we become, and we can kind of let our guard down a little bit. So I think education always helps lower that wall a little bit for customers. And I believe that you should try to match and mirror their energy, unless, of course, they're being negative. You don't want to do that, because energy does flow from hot to cold. That's, I believe, the second law of thermodynamics, that heat will always transfer to cold in the form of energy. So your energy should be transferring over to them to warm them up. So don't ever compromise who you are. Don't ever get discouraged, and don't allow their sternness or their guardedness to make you feel defeated, because then you're not coming with all of the ammo and tools that you have, your energy being the most important. So I would focus on being enthusiastic. Don't change who you are. Don't become discouraged, but also match and mirror them. If they're being, a little less vocal, you don't want to be over the top and scare them away. But I think with education, with presenting yourself as a professional, you start checking boxes for them, right? You start making them more comfortable. Yes, I feel educated. Yes, I feel comfortable and confident in my decision because I have all the information. Yes, Robert is professional. Yes, he's kind of on the same wavelength as me. He's not over the top, right? Because I do the same thing. I can get enthusiastic and over the top and super pumped up, but I'm not going to do that to somebody that's a little more docile. I'm not going to intimidate them, right? So yes, Robert makes me feel comfortable, not only as a customer, but as a person. I don't feel threatened in any way. I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel like I'm being forced into a decision. So that's a great question, Rob. And there's no blueprint for it. There's no exact answer. It's more of a touch and feel, and it does take time. It does take experience. But I think what fast tracks that is, if you did reflect back on each customer that you had and kind of wrote down, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, what was their energy level in terms of enthusiasm, right? Okay, they were a 7. On a scale of 1 to 10, how high was their wall when they came in, and where was it ultimately maybe by the middle of the process? Okay, so they came in and they were super guarded. They were a 10. Their wall was up super high. By the middle of the negotiation, I got them down to a 5. Well, how did I do that? Did that take place on the lot, right? Reflecting. When I was on the lot and I got them excited about the vehicle, did their wall come down a little bit? Because now they were emotionally involved in the process. And that playbook that they had drawn up prior to coming there, that, hey, I'm going to keep my guard up. I'm going to tell them I'm just looking. I'm going to tell them I'm not buying today. I'm going to tell them I don't need any help. I'm going to tell them I'm not making a decision my first day out. Did that all go out the window as they started to kind of get into the ether and the euphoria of the car buying process? So then you say, oh, okay, so that's how I got the wall down. I got super pumped up on the lot. I sold the shit out of the car, and that lowered the wall. Or when I was doing the numbers presentation, Was I more relaxed? Was I more calm? Was I saying, hey, listen, there's the numbers here. Let's just digest them. Let's learn exactly where we are on this particular vehicle. No pressure to make a decision today, right? Depending on your store's process. So there's a number of ways. Sometimes I like to act as if I'm not selling them at all. Even when I'm negotiating, like, listen, it's not a big deal. Totally get it. I know you wanted to make a deal happen today. I know you love the vehicle, but if the numbers don't work or, maybe we just can't afford it at the time, I totally get it. I pull back, right? I pull back. If they really want the vehicle, they're going to come towards, right? I'm going to pull away from the deal. They're going to come towards the deal. So sometimes anti-salesmanship helps as well, right? Because they don't want to be pressured because they're expecting that. So another thing would be maybe throwing them a curveball, throwing them the unexpected, right? To get them off their game because they come in there with a playbook or some mental plays drawn up that they're going to execute on you. So maybe if you surprise them or shock them and do the opposite of what they expect, that can get them to kind of revert back to their human instincts. And their human instincts are to feel connected. People just want to feel connected. We have a physiological need for that, right? So maybe you can throw them a curveball, right? Get them off their game. And then, obviously through building rapport, your goal should be to be their trusted advisor, right? You don't want to be their best friend. You don't want to be their adversary, but you want to be their trusted advisor and with professional undertones that they're here to buy a car. They're here to buy a car. They're not here to make a friend. I made that mistake early on in my career where I built great rapport, but I didn't know how to close the deal because I didn't understand that I have to always have undertones that this is a business transaction, that nothing of value happens unless they leave with a vehicle other than the one they came in. And if they don't leave in a vehicle other than the one they came in, I did them a disservice, right? And I'll say that to them as well. I'll say that honestly and openly. Rob, if I let you leave today in the same vehicle you came in, I wasted your time. I did you a disservice. So sometimes stern customers with their wall up, you got to be stern right back at them too. You got to play their game. Hit them with the truth, right? Hit them with the truth. Not in a cocky way, not in a combative way, but hit them straight up with the truth, right? If they don't want to have a warm and fuzzy interaction, not a problem. Let's talk business. Let's get down to business, right? Oh, well, I think my trade's worth X, Y, and Z. Totally understand, Rob, but the market ultimately dictates what your trade is worth. So I get it. I know you feel like it's worth more. And listen, if it was up to me, I'd give you more. But the market ultimately dictates what it's worth. For the same reasons why I'm not going to be able to tell you that it's worth $5,000 less, because it's not. The market said it's worth this, right? So maybe be stern with them. Be straight up with them. And once again, maybe they're trying you on to see if they can intimidate you. But if you show that you're stern, which the person I'm talking about now, Rob, you are stern. If you show them, yeah, I'm stern too. I'm confident. I have the courage of my convictions. Maybe they'll back down a little bit and say, okay, I can't bully this guy. So build rapport. Try to match and mirror their energy in a sense where, unless they're negative, try to be on the same wavelength in terms of volume and disposition. Don't be over the top, over enthusiastic and performative, because they may look at that and say, that's not genuine. And if they are stern, just know it's defense mechanism. They're trying to protect themselves. We get it. Don't take it personally. Do not take it personally. Do not get discouraged. And if you can reflect, I used to keep something called an objection log. I remember from 10 years ago, the gentleman's name was James Laycock, I believe. 10 years ago, I think that was his name, believe it or not. And I believe he came in for a vehicle, like a $6,000 vehicle, wanted to pay cash, and ultimately he ended up leaving in a lease. So James, if you're watching this, I stand true to what I said 10 years ago. It does make more sense to put that money down, get yourself a new vehicle with a full warranty, no miles, upgraded equipment, rather than a $6,000 cash car that you really have no peace of mind when you buy. And I wrote down the objection that James had given me and what situation I was faced with when he came there. And I ended up ultimately learning from that when I reflected on my objection log as to how I overcame certain customers' objections. So do that as well. Reflect on that stern customer. If you did make a deal, kind of look back and find out when the breakthrough was, when things changed, right? I think that'll help you as well. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.